What is up, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. My name is Flame078 and this is Perspective Gaming here with another Apex Legends video. And today's video is going to be a very interesting one. Today we're going to be talking about, Season 5, the latter half of Season 5, what went well, what was a misstep, my impressions, my hopes for Season 6. And as I was building this video, Apex is announcing that they're dropping a trailer. You know what that means? That means another live reaction is going to be on this channel, and actually I'll be releasing both these kinds of videos simultaneously, so make sure to check the cards and in the description box so you can check out the live reaction right after you finish this video. But yes, today's video is all about that. It's a little bit interesting in the background. I'm gonna shrink this screen up. You'll have some gameplay so you guys can enjoy some of my previous games. But without further ado, let's just break down, let's just talk about essentially what I personally think the state of Apex Legends is. Let's get to it. Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, so what are we talking about? Apex Legends Season 6 is on the horizon. We have about, 10 days left before the season officially ends for Season 5, and then that gives us, another week potentially until Season 6 officially starts. So all the news, all the hype is starting to get regenerated. They're dropping trailers. It's going to be a good time for Apex Legends, but up to this point, the state of Apex Legends have been pretty sour for a lot of the casual players, for me and particularly for a lot of different reasons. And Apex Legends and the team at Respawn kind of keep doing the same mistakes. It's kind of like a pattern now, and they haven't really, they do some good things, but they haven't really fixed what they kind of get wrong every season. So, but before we get into the negative, let's talk about some of the good things, the best things that have happened this season and Season 5. Let's talk about, overall, now that we've gotten the full season length, what do we think about everything that happened? Let's start with Kings Canyon. Kings Canyon was a great revamp. I think it was a fresher of goodness on the map. I think is one of my favorite versions of Kings Canyon. It is very fun to play with, but more importantly, Kings Canyon just provide that different play style that World's Edge shifted us away from for a while. That fast pace, the always anticipating third parties. It's just more action packed, and that's speaks to like what a map design could really allow Apex Legends to feel like. Because with World's Edge, it's there's a lot of space, a lot of distance. You can do snipers are viable, you can retreat more easily, third parties are a little bit more controlled in a sense. You can kind of figure out where people are coming from if you're smart and understand your rotations. So the play styles that are offered between World's Edge and this version of Kings Canyon, it's just undeniably like very important to understand that Apex Legends for the future can do. A map provides a different way to play the game, and that's really crucial. Everyone does get tired of playing the same kind of playstyle over and over again. So now with this map rotation and the fact that everyone's doing the same rotation, it's not a selection, is very good, because now it forces everyone to kind of switch between on and off without them being in control. And that was one of my big fears when they were going to introduce map rotation, was dang, what's going to happen with the queue times and stuff like that. But the way they implemented here in Season 5, I think is really good, and I hope they continue that in the future. What else was good? Loba was a great introduction. She had the lore backing into her. She was very hyped. I enjoyed her introduction. I enjoyed her skill set. I enjoyed that she was very much viable, not on like a ranked level where I usually play on, but as a casual player, like, oh, this is cool. She's very fun. She does provide utility, which is really good. The reworks they did to Legends were amazing this season, even at the start and towards the end. They did a really good job of doing a lot of good changes for some of the Legends that I felt were kind of being mistreated throughout these last couple of months. Lifeline feels great again. I think she's in a perfect spot. I know some people don't like where she's at, but I personally like where she's at. Mirage is really good. The small tweaks to Caustic were good. The Watson changes, from what I've played, she's still in a good spot. It's not too crazy. Wraith, surprisingly, I feel like instead of reducing the skill gap, they made her even still the same in terms of you have to be a good player to use her effectively, which is kind of nice. That was links to that video. I broke that down. in the description box down below when they first happened. But in terms of just the tweaks to the legend meta was, I think, really good and allows shake up. I've seen a lot of different compositions when I play ranked. It's not always the same 3 legends that are doing really good, which I think speaks to the design that they are going for. Now we're some of the okay things. I mean, you know, we're talking about the gun meta now. Now we talked about the legend. Now let's talk about the gun. They didn't add a new gun. They did some tweaks. The Sentinel feels really good now, very viable. The Mastiff as a floor loot weapon, I kind of really enjoy, actually more than the Peacekeeper. But with the no addition of a gun, it is kind of stale. It's kind of really annoying. You see the same weapons as go-to time and time again, and you know that does get stale. So, but for me, on a personal level, why it's just like a neutral thing more than like a negative, is just like I don't really care. I'm still working on improving my gunplay and my gun game. So for me, it's all good and dandy. So the biggest thing that they've added in season 5, the change, right, was the addition of the Broken Ghost quest. You know, this weekly, you know, PvE storytelling mechanic that they introduced, that really furthered the lore, that really furthered their storytelling prowess, and I think is one of the best additions and one of the best ways to keep a player engaged. One of my favorite parts of this season was coming in week to week, tuning in and seeing what was going to happen in the story. You know, I think that's really good, right? I think that concept, the way they executed it, was pretty spot on. They might tweak, you know, the whole treasure pack requirement. I personally feel maybe just don't have any requirements, just unlock it week to week so people can come in. You know, some people do like story. I've had some of my friends say, like, you know, it's kind of annoying that if I don't have enough, you know, packs, I can't move up on the story, and I kind of don't have, you know, I don't want to play the game. Even though the treasure packs were significantly really easy to get, but I understand that some people just rather just don't mind the waiting, just don't add that like gameplay level to it, I guess. But for me, that aside, that's not a big deal. The biggest, you know, crutches of their current implementation of what they did with the quest was 2 things. One, the fact that it was, you know, you had to read it, it wasn't animated nor voiced, really left a lot to be desired. I think they have a lot of potential here to really create more engaging stories. At the very minimum, make them voiced by the voice actors. These actors are coming in, adding new voice lines every so often, and with everything with the pandemic that's been going on, a lot of them are now pretty much capable of doing recordings from home, or at least that's what I've seen. So that ability to just get voice scenes would be very crucial, but I think they can take it to the next level and do something that the other battle royales are not doing, because, you know, Fortnite and, you know, PUBG and, you know, Warzone have like these trailers, cinematics or whatever, and they're trying to tell a story, but that's only like glimpses. Like, none of them throughout the season have been really good at being captivated in that way. And if they have like cut scenes that are fully fleshed out, I think that's going to really take this lore aspects and really bring them to the top. The other thing that really fell short, and this is one of the main reasons why I'm making this video, is because they just really dropped the ball. And this just goes back to what I said at the beginning of the video. They kind of repeat the same mistakes every season, and it's kind of getting a little annoying. And what I'm talking about is, you know, the developers and the team at Respawn just don't release enough content throughout this long seasons to really keep people engaged. One of the good things about the quest was it kept people coming back, kept people talking about the game. And the way the Broken Ghost ended 3 weeks ago, 4 weeks ago, left everyone in suspense. You saw the video, you saw the content creators get all hyped. You know, they tied into their previous you know, title, Titanfall 2 with Ash. Like, they left a lot of things, you know, on a really good high note, and then they just completely did not capitalize it. What are we doing? Like I said, we have about 10 days left for season 6, and they're just dropping another LTM at the tail end of it. There's just a rework of an LTM they already done. Like, what? Like, what are they doing? They completely dropped the ball on capitalizing on the hype generated from the end of the Broken Ghost. And I think it just speaks to the pattern that they've continually done. They sprinkle in a collection event here and there, and then that's it. And then everyone's just stuck with the same game for a little bit, and nothing more, nothing else changes. They're very slow in that regard, and people are getting fed up with it. And I'm not getting fed up to it in the sense of like, oh God, continual content. No, that's not really what I'm about. But when it comes to the store, when it comes to letting people kind of being able to capitalize on the hype that players are feeling when they're in that moment, they're just not being very effective at it. What they should have done, and what I hope for season 6, if they're going to continue this quest mechanic, that they essentially keep it the season length. Don't cut it short. Keep it, the same length. Just imagine that end of Broken Ghost around this time, how hyped you would be for the trailer that is coming out today. Like I said, there's another trailer coming out that they announced. How hype would you be? Like, you just finished the Broken Ghost, and then all of a sudden, boom, new trailer for something coming out. Like, you let people sit in on what they just experienced, but you get them thinking about, yo, this is coming up next. Oh, can't wait. That's what animes and like shows do. They captivate you, and they want you to want to think, can't wait for next week or whatever. And video games are a little bit different. Obviously, you don't want something every week, but when it came to the storytelling, the way they set things up, or we're getting teased a new map, we're getting teased new lore about different legends, and maybe introductions to like old characters that people were familiar with. Like, you don't just let that sit there for 3 to 4 weeks and do nothing about it, right? They did small map tweaks right throughout the map, teasing stuff with Rampant and the rocket and stuff like that. But to me, that was less meaningful than when they did it for like Revenant, right? Because I just wasn't invested, right? They did it so late afterward. Maybe they sprinkled that in while the Ghost story was going on, maybe, but it just feels tacked on, and it's just it doesn't capture the same oomph as it did. So and that's why I'm kind of a little bit annoyed, and I feel like they dropped the ball. And I've stated this on my Twitch streams, that they just really dropped the ball with this, and it's just a matter of time. Like, I don't understand why they don't have a permanent LTM mode with content cycling in every couple of weeks. They have the ability to. It's not that hard. These introductions and snippets of like content, just let them keep coming. Like, it doesn't make sense for them to keep adding it and then taking it away. The legend balance, I'll leave them to it. I think I like the slow pace of that. The gun meta, I feel like they do need to switch that up, add a couple of different things so things can really change. One thing that I wish they add soon is the RNG, the removal of the shield, just have it one. That really, for me, that was the best event, the best kind of version of Apex Legends to play. Starting with the P2020, it just falls in line with what other battle royales are doing, trying to make things simple, trying to reduce as many cumbersome RNG mechanics, but also it still retains a lot of what top gameplay has, right? If you just drop, say for example, just Evo Shoot on P2020, it doesn't remove anything, right? If the good player will still be able to survive. It gives the opportunity for bad players to maybe get out of a bad situation and regroup. But more importantly, it just promotes aggro play and more gunplay, which this game sometimes lacks. We're playing ranked, it's literally all about positioning, about the third party. And with Evo Shields only, it just promotes that early mid game to just be aggressive, to be fighting, because you want to be leveling up your shields. I also talked in depth about this topic in a video. I'll have a card somewhere and then a description box down below. But those are just some things that they introduce that are really good, and then they just don't do nothing with, right? And that goes back to what I'm saying, that they bring us up and they do nothing, and then they go down, and then they try to do something that should hype us up again, but the fact that we were already low, it doesn't have the same impact, right? Like, that's what's going on. And at the end of the day, that's not really good. That can only survive you for so long. But I don't know where else what to say. What do you guys think about this? This was a little bit more of a ranked up video than a full fleshed out kind of topic. Like I said, we're gonna do a trailer reaction. Links will be all over the place for you guys to enjoy. Jump on over to that video to get hyped with me to see what's happening season 6. But comment down below on like what are some serious issues with you for the game. Let's talk about what troubles you, right? But I hope you guys enjoyed. Make sure to hit that like button, subscribe if you haven't already. I really appreciate that. Trying to hit that 100 so I can get that custom URL. But you know, I'll catch you guys very soon. Thank you guys again and have a great one. My name's Flame078 and this is Perspective Gaming. Till next time, adios.